We're 19 months into Israel's war on Gaza, and for the first time, some of Israel's closest allies are threatening action. The UK says it's suspending trade talks and imposing sanctions on settlers and some organisations backing violence in the occupied West Bank. In addition, the leaders of the UK, France and Canada issued this statement against Israel's expanded military offensive in Gaza. They called Israel's blockade of humanitarian aid unacceptable and said the level of human suffering is intolerable. Palestine's UK ambassador said the condemnation was significant, but it must be backed up by action.
Arms, full, comprehensive arms embargo. This is a legal obligation upon the UK, France, Canada, and the rest of the world. Number two, sanctions, not on individual settlers, as the UK and other Western countries have been doing, but on the entire ecosystem of the illegal settlements and the state.
The question is, why now? After all, these allies called Israel's war on Gaza self-defense after the Hamas-led attack on Israel on October 7, and they've consistently reiterated that point since. Diplomats told Al Jazeera that public pressure is mounting, but mainly because many world leaders assume the war on Gaza would have ended by now. So, what does all this finger-wagging mean? Well, the UK, Canada and France all supply weapons components to Israel. Despite warnings, this likely violates international law. For example, last September, the UK suspended 28 export licenses for military equipment to Israel out of 350 licenses. But it continues to send parts to the global F-35 supply program. Israel uses these fighter jets to bomb Gaza. Canada did something similar but continues to route weapons components to Israel through the US. So what about the rest of the world? In addition to that letter from the UK, France and Canada, the foreign ministers of 21 other countries, including Australia, also issued a joint statement calling for Israel to completely resume aid to Gaza. But in the face of increasing starvation and an aid blockade that's lasted more than 2 months, human rights groups are calling for concrete action. For example, the Australian Centre for International Justice is calling on the government to impose sanctions on the far-right Israeli cabinet ministers Itamar Ben-Gvir and Bezalel Smotrich. And here's one more thing. The leaders of the UK, France and Canada singled out the Netanyahu government in that letter, saying they would not stand by while he pursues these egregious actions in Gaza. Netanyahu is wanted by the ICC for crimes against humanity. And although the UK announced sanctions on some targeted groups, specifically in the occupied West Bank, it hasn't made mention of sanctioning the Prime Minister or anyone involved in the war on Gaza. Here's the Palestinian ambassador again.
For the people of Gaza, it's 19 months late. And for our people in the West Bank, it's almost 60 years late.